After digesting the game, post-game, and press conference, it's clear to me that the 49ers quietly solved a major problem. I'm going to tell you all about it in this episode. Hit subscribe if you're looking for daily 49ers content, and let me know for sure in the comments how you felt about that game tonight, preseason. I don't know what I'm saying, this afternoon, but really, like, the guy that is so interesting coming out of this game is Jake Moody, because I'm seeing fan perspectives all over the spectrum. So let me know in the comments specifically, do you feel like more confident in Jake Moody? He hits a 59-yarder, game winner. The team in preseason goes wild. They make a big deal out of it. It's all over the place. Everybody's everywhere. Does that make you feel more confident in Jake Moody? Does that make Jake Moody feel more confident in himself? Absolutely. But does his 53-yard miss negate that? Or does his 53-yard miss go in that like, hey, plus 50? You're kind of hoping for 50%. And if you're 50% plus 50, which Jake Moody was, then if you're over 50%, I should say, then you feel okay about that. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. I'll tell you my thoughts on Jake Moody in a minute. But that's the one that sticks out to me. We've got so many things to get to, but I made a promise to you at the beginning of this video telling you that the 49ers solved a major problem. They actually might have solved more than one problem here. We'll get into some of that as well. But the big problem for me that the 49ers absolutely solved today, or demonstrated, is done. It's a done deal. It's been solved. That particular problem is this guy right here. Without a fully functioning offensive line, keep that in mind. You didn't have your ideal, quote-unquote, starting left guard. Although Connor Colby, he's trying to make his way in there, and he got a shot with the starters. And in pass pro, he looked pretty good. And then on the left tackle position, you, of course, were without Trent Williams, future Hall of Famer. So you put that in the perspective. You add that you've got George Kittle out there. Great, obviously. You don't have Brandon Aiyuk out there. You still don't have your number one wide receiver, okay? And you didn't have Juwan Jennings out there either, who now the league knows about Juwan Jennings. They are aware of third and Juwan. And you saw Brock Purdy hit Ricky Pearsall on a 3rd and 18. Or an 18-yard play and 3rd and long. I don't actually remember the exact yardage, but it was an 18-yard play, which was crazy. And it was a beautiful pass, layered throw. I mean, you could see Raiders all over the screen, and you just love a pass like that. As a fan of the game, you love watching the offense and seeing a play where a ball drops into a zone that if you paused the screen and you didn't know where the ball was and you saw where the receiver was, you were like, of all the guys out there, I hope he's not throwing to that guy. And he just absolutely gets it to him. It's not the best pass that Brock Purdy's ever thrown. Like, I'm not looking at it like he's never made a throw like that. I'm just saying, like, this is bread and butter passes to me between Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall. But more importantly, what we got to see in the solving of this wide receiver problem of, can Ricky Pearsall be the guy? Not only did we see Ricky Pearsall can be the guy, we saw what them working together in the offseason actually produced, which is why I can't wait to see more with Purdy and Cowing on the field together, because they also work together a lot in the offseason. We know what's going on with George Kittle, and the fact he didn't get a pass during the game, I'm not even worried about that, because everything that's happened in years past, plus the time he spent with him in the offseason, plus all of the times he's gone to Kittle in training camp and joint practices, etc., and he's still a guy he knows he can always count on. Like, I feel really good about it. I'm not at all concerned about Kittle. I'm wearing his jersey right now, just coincidentally. But when I look at what the 49ers have done just with Pearsall, who he needs to stay healthy, right? He's got to prove it. But I'm just saying, with Pearsall, and I get it, it's preseason. I hear you. It's preseason. You don't have to tell me in the comments. I'm aware it's just preseason. But when the ones are out there for the one drive that they got, Brock Purdy did his business enough that he didn't have to go out there for second drive. If you didn't know, that was kind of the way that was going to go. If Brock Purdy had a nice solid drive, then he was going to be done for the day. That was kind of decided before the game had even begun. If the first drive was a quick like 3 and out or something like that, then they were going to give him a second drive. So all of that being said, I got genuinely, let me know in the comments what you think, but we haven't even talked about the depth guys yet. Demarcus Robinson has a drop on a play I don't even like. I texted my brother-in-law. He was watching the game too. I was like, dude, I don't even like that play. I don't like that quick play to Demarcus Robinson. I don't blame Demarcus Robinson for not having the touch, because that kind of pass, especially coming from a shorter quarterback at 6'1", Brock Purdy is, like, that's a really tough kind of play call for a guy Brock Purdy's size, trying to throw over the line when it's all condensed and tight in such a short window, and the pace coming off the pass, trying to get your wide receiver to catch in such a short little window of time. You got fingertips on it, so you'd like to say wide receiver. If it touches your hands, you got to catch it. But I'm not going to hold that one against him. I think Demarcus Robinson over the whole of the game actually looked really solid, really confident. I loved his separation. I loved his confident hands when the ball was in the right place, when he was in the right place. Really solid. So we haven't even talked about him. I say depth guys. He's actually not a depth guy to start the season. He's a depth guy, on the depth chart. But whatever. Then you talk about guys like Chosen, Robbie Chosen's out there, starting to kind of show some flares there, not with Brock Purdy and not with the first team, but, and I'm not saying he's going to make the team. Robbie Chosen's probably a practice squad guy, but you like a guy like that, getting his reps and getting some catches in there. Russell Gage, we haven't talked about enough on this channel. Russell Gage is a guy who's probably going to make this roster. Seriously. Because of Brandon Aiyuk's injury, because of Demarcus Robinson not being able to play in the first few games, we're assuming, that's how Kyle kind of talks about it. Russell Gage makes this team, I think, and he's the kind of guy that, nobody's going to forget what happened in Atlanta and what's possible for him with the 49ers this upcoming season as a veteran. So I'm actually really happy with where the wide receiver core is right now. I understand why many of you would have wanted the 49ers to go deep on a wide receiver and go pick up a big free agent name, but I'm actually quietly feeling really good about this. I think what the 49ers have done and what they're confident in, what they're seeing is legit. I think it's right. If guys can stay healthy, that's a big if, and I'll knock on wood when I say it, but for those of you baseball fans out there. So that's where I'm at, okay? I'm going to keep moving, though. John Chapman did have something really interesting to say. I'll throw this out there. The best thing about Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall is that their best traits complement one another's. Purdy, quick reads, and at his best in the intermediate area. Pearsall, lightning fast horizontal separation at his best in the intermediate area. There's something to keep in mind. Don't forget about that. Several other things happened, though, like Chase Lucas continued to show up and say, I deserve a spot on this 53-man roster, and he might just get it. Chase Lucas has been impressive. The way that Robert Saleh has used him, the amount of playing time they've given him shows they clearly want tape on him. They clearly are considering him like he is a legitimate consideration for this team. I don't think he came into camp as a locked on going to make this 53-man roster, and he's giving he's given a pretty darn good argument for why he deserves to be one of the guys on that roster sheet. Chase Lucas stacking another great day, having 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. Just he's going absolutely insane. They didn't use him in the exact same way that they used him in the first game, but I really liked what I saw out of him. I think anyone did. Speaking of liked what I saw, Nick Martin, another guy who got a lot of heat after the first game, and he took it all on the chin. He took ownership of it, and he didn't let it get to him. He's like, we're good. I know where I'm at. I know where I'm going, and he looked so much more composed. His body size and speed, I absolutely love the potential of this young man. Linebacker Nick Martin didn't overthink it today and had had fun making plays. He's having 6 combined tackles, which was most on the team, if I'm not mistaken. 2 tackles for loss and a sack. So love that from him. And another guy, Marquise Seagull. And we've talked about him. He's a rookie that could start on this football team. Maybe he's not a week 1 starter, but he very well could be a week 1 starter. Danny G saying definitely seems to be trending that way. Then once Mustafa gets back, I think he and Seagull could be the starters. Let me know in the comments what you think about Tig Brown today. I thought his performance was decent. I thought Jair, he looked decent. But my concern about Brown is I feel like there were times last season where I felt like I didn't see him when I wanted to see him. Like, where was he? And then he had some moments where he kind of cleaned up the play a little bit. You'd expect any safety in the NFL to clean up the plays that he cleaned up today. Maybe it was a lack of opportunities, like high-quality opportunities, whatever. I don't know. Let me know what you think there, but Seagull is definitely standing out. Now, we do have to talk about injuries because I'm a positive guy. I just know that about myself. I'm an endless optimist. I can't help myself but be optimistic, especially when it comes to sports. However, we do have to be honest, and I'm for those of you that just think I'm always blowing smoke or whatever, I'm also talking about the other stuff. You just got to watch the whole video, okay? Dominic Purdy, he did a PCL thing, we think. Kyle doesn't know for sure, but that's what it looks like, which would mean he's out for a few weeks. You expect him to be out for a few weeks. That means he's going to be right around that week 1 game. Now, if you remember Christian McCaffrey's PCL, which is likely different, but if you remember Christian McCaffrey's PCL, that was kind of like one of those, had they made the playoffs, he would have been ready to come back for that. But because they didn't, they were able to play it safe. So who knows how it'll work out for Dominic Puni, but based off of what we have, that's the only thing we have to work with at this exact moment. So definitely bummed about him. Absolutely love how, I almost said Corey Kiner, who's injured. I'm reading as I'm thinking at the same time. Connor Colby, I thought he did a pretty good job in pass blocking reps. And so in pass pro, that was cool. Good to see that. In that first drive, the 49ers absolutely got quelched running the ball. But you're missing your starting left guard. You're missing your starting left tackle. And on top of that, you're missing, oh my gosh, like who is it now? So running back 2, running back 3, running back 4, running back 5, all injured. Like they're all injured. There might be more than that. Hold on now. Let me see here. Garendo, Jordan James, Amir Abdullah, Corey Kiner, that's 4. Patrick Taylor Jr., that's 5, guys. That's 5 running backs who have gone down during this training camp. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Speaking of 2 of them, Corey Kiner, high ankle sprain, out for a couple weeks. Patrick Taylor Jr., dislocated shoulder, out for a couple weeks. You know the worst part about all this? We watch Tatum Bethune absolutely explode Ashton Genty. I mean, just lit him up. It was one of those tackles that I think about all the time with what makes Christian McCaffrey so good. And Deebo Samuel actually, outside of last year, was really, really good at never taking a head-on hit. He always had enough sly to avoid the head-on hits. Ashton Genty gets hit so hard by Tatum Bethune, he sends him all the way to the blue tent. And he comes back out, and he keeps playing. And shortly after that, D. Winters nearly takes his head off. And he's still on the football field. And yet we've got Jordan James, Isaac Garendo, Amir Abdullah, Patrick Taylor Jr., Corey Kiner all down. What is up right now with the 49ers running backs? Like, it's not for lack of desire. It's not for lack of trying. It's not for lack of effort. These guys are hard workers. Like, I'm impressed by them when they're out there a lot of the times. I don't think they're flimsy. I just wonder if they're a little bit fragile. I'm concerned. And I don't know if it's personnel. I don't know if it's health, personal trainers. Like, I don't know what's going on that you could possibly have this many injuries just piling up constantly. But another preseason game where you imagine Kyle Shanahan's in the back room just saying, is there any way we can just forfeit against the Chargers? Can we just not play that game? Maybe just a couple weeks off of football might be good. You know, maybe like let's just not practice for a little while. You know, let's like wait until it's time for the Seahawks game and then we'll start practicing again. I can't believe this. We do have other players coming back from injury, so they should be back this week. So that's a good sign, of course. But you just had CJ West go down during joint practices. Like, my word. By the way, on the positive note, guys like Valdez, who like were really, you know, depth guys who are standing out, really were still a massive impact in this game, even though we didn't see the same stats that we saw last week. So there's definitely a lot to break down watching the film and like starting to pick up some of those deeper plays. We are 7 days away from the Los Angeles Chargers, and only thing I'm hoping for right now is the team just stays healthy, gets healthier, and stops getting injured. That's all I can hope for. What they're going to do, Wilson looked good, but what they're going to do at the running back position, you know, Keyshawn Vaughn looked all right too. I mean, like, you know, but I don't know what they're going to do. And I cannot imagine they're going to put Christian McCaffrey out there. He's not going to get any reps in the game, I don't think. So you're just looking at this team and trying to figure out what in the world are the 49ers going to do? And this 53-man roster projection might be one of the weirdest ones we've ever seen, because I really, you know, the first 53 is always different from the 53 that hits week 1, week 2, week 3. Like, you know, you're just going to see changes. That just happens. But this one could be really different. The 49ers could say, like, we have to hold a lot more guys at a particular position because of the injury situation and our need to be able to play in another preseason game. And that will factor in that will be about, I think, 5 to 10 days, 5 or so days away from the cuts. So you'll have this Chargers game, and then it'll be cut down. And, man, this is just wild. I cannot believe it. Man, hey, let me know what you think in the comments. As always, appreciate you guys. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic night, despite the fact that we got more bad injury news. Appreciate you. Still here. It didn't work. It'll work on this one, I bet.